की जय, लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा स्वामी की जय, राधा गोविंद की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25 and Text 34. Na ekatmatam me spruhayanti kechin matpada seva abhirata madihaha ये अन्योन्यतो भागवताः प्रसज्य सभाज्यन्ते मम पौरुषाणि नैकात्मतां मे स्पृहयन्ति केचिन् मत्पादसेवाभिरता मदीहाः ये न्योन्यतो भागवताः प्रसज्य सभाजयन्ते मम पौरुषाणि नैकात्मतां मे स्पृहयन्ति केचिन् मत्पादसेवाभिरता मदीहाः ये न्योन्यतो भागवताः प्रसज्य सभाजयन्ते मम पौरुषाणि। केचिन् आत्मतां मे स्पृहयन्ति केचिन् मत्पादसेवाभिरता मदीहा यन्योन्यतो भागवता प्रसज्य सभाजयन्ते मम पौरुषाणि नैकात्मतां मे स्पृहयन्ति केचिन् पादसेवाभिरता मदीहा यन्योन्यतो भागवता जयन्ते मम पौरुषाणि। न never eka atmatam merging into oneness may my spruha yanti they desire kechit any mat pada seva the service of my lotus feet abhirataha engaged in mat ihaha endeavoring to attain me ye those who anyonyataha mutually bhagavataha pure devotees prasajya assembling sabhajayante glorify mama my paurushani glorious activities. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: a pure devotee who is attached to the activities of devotional service and who always engages in the service of my lotus feet never desires to become one with me. Such a devotee who is unflinchingly engaged always glorifies my pastimes and activities. Please repeat: a pure devotee who is attached to the activities of devotional service and who always engages in the service of my lotus feet never desires to become one with me. Such a devotee who is unflinchingly engaged always glorifies my pastimes and activities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. There are 5 kinds of liberation stated in the scriptures. One is to become one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or to forsake one's individuality and merge into the Supreme Spirit. This is called ekatmatam. A devotee never accepts this kind of liberation. The other 4 liberations are to be promoted to the same planet as God, Vaikuntha, to associate personally with the Supreme Lord, to achieve the same opulence as the Lord, and to attain the same bodily features as the Supreme Lord. A pure devotee, as will be explained by Kapila Muni, does not aspire for any of the 5 liberations. He especially despises as hellish the idea of becoming one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, said, Kaivalyam narakayate, the happiness of becoming one with the Supreme Lord, which is aspired for by the Mayavadis, is considered hellish. That oneness is not for pure devotees. There are many so-called devotees who think that in the conditioned state we may worship the personality of Godhead, but that ultimately there is no personality. They say that since the Absolute Truth is impersonal, one can imagine a personal form of the impersonal Absolute Truth for the time being, but as soon as one becomes liberated, the worship stops. That is the theory put forward by the Mayavada philosophy. Actually, the impersonalists do not merge into the existence of the Supreme Person, but into his personal bodily luster, which is called the Brahmajyoti. Although that Brahmajyoti is not different from his personal body, that sort of oneness, bracket, merging into the bodily luster of the personality of Godhead, is not accepted by a pure devotee because the devotees engage in greater pleasure than the so-called pleasure of merging into his existence. The greatest pleasure is to serve the Lord. Devotees are always thinking about how to serve Him. They are always designing ways and means to serve the Supreme Lord, even in the midst of the greatest obstacles of material existence. The Mayavadis accept the description of the pastimes of the Lord as stories, but actually they are not stories, they are historical facts. Pure devotees accept the narrations of the pastimes of the Lord not as stories but as absolute truth. The words Mama Paurushani are significant. Devotees are very much attached to glorifying the activities of the Lord, whereas the Mayavadis cannot even think of these activities. According to them, the absolute truth is impersonal. Without personal existence, how can there be activity? The impersonalists take the activities mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures as fictitious stories, and therefore they interpret them most mischievously. They have no idea of the personality of Godhead. They unnecessarily poke their noses into the scripture and interpret it in a deceptive way in order to mislead the innocent public. The activities of Mayavada philosophy are very dangerous to the public, and therefore Lord Chaitanya warned us never to hear from any Mayavadi about any scripture. They will spoil the entire process, and the person hearing them will never be able to come to the path of devotional service to attain the highest perfection, or will be able to do so only after a very long time. It is clearly stated by Kapila Muni that bhakti activities or activities in devotional service are transcendental to mukti. This is called Panchama Purushadha. Generally, people engage in the activities of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, and ultimately they work with an idea that they are going to become one with the Supreme Lord, Mukti. But bhakti is transcendental to all these activities. The Srimad Bhagavatam therefore begins by stating that all kinds of pretentious religiosity is completely eradicated from the Bhagavatam. Ritualistic activities for economic development and sense gratification, and after frustration in sense gratification, the desire to become one with the Supreme Lord are all completely rejected in the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is especially meant for the pure devotees who are always engaged in Krishna consciousness, in the activities of the Lord, and always glorify these transcendental activities. Pure devotees worship the transcendental activities of the Lord in Vrindavan, Dwaraka, and Mathura, as they are narrated in the Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas. The Mayavadi philosophers completely reject them as stories, but actually they are great and worshipable subject matters, and thus are relishable only for devotees. That is the difference between a Mayavadi and a pure devotee. Dasanstha Bhaktivedanta Purport Madhyanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Te Bhakti Vedanta Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. These are the sentences spoken by Kapila Deva while explaining the glories of devotional service to his mother Devahuti. So here he is explaining the nature of a pure devotee. A pure devotee, naikatmatam me spruhayanti kechin, they never desire to merge into Krishna, merge into the body of Krishna or into his bodily lust. Matpada sevabhiratha, always engaged in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Madihaha, and is always endeavoring to attain Krishna. Ye anyonyata bhagavata prasajya sabhajayante, they glorify the pastimes of Mama Paurushani, the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Lord. So this is the nature of a pure devotee, that he doesn't aspire ekatmatam. He doesn't aspire becoming one with the Supreme Lord. So this philosophy that one day I will also become Supreme Lord, I will also become God, I can also become Narayana, this philosophy is known as Mayavada. Mayavada philosophy thinks that Currently we are all conditioned by Maya, but once we are liberated, we will become Krishna or we will become Narayan. This is their philosophy and this is called Mayavada. Recently our folk students, they went to this, went to Mayapur Dham for a pilgrimage, and I was there for a couple of days with them, and we went to one Lord Chaitanya's temple where we had our lunch. The temple is very famous for their Rajbhog lunch. So all the devotees, we have planned to reach there. And nice kirtans, wonderful kirtans, and the devotees are dancing in the temple hall. Everybody is facing towards Lord Chaitanya. Ecstatically they are all dancing. And so when all this kirtans and everything is going on, I saw there is one person who is sitting quite in the front of the temple hall. So, and behind him, all the devotees are jumping, dancing, running around, all those things, because kirtan is going on. But there's one person who is there in the front, and he is playing kartal. He is playing kartal and is looking at the Lord, and then he is playing kartal. Although there is a tumultuous kirtan and a dancing going on behind, probably he knows something is happening, but he's trying to play little kartal, and then he's looking at the Lord. And so now once the Rajbhog offering is over, all the devotees got closure darshan, and there is the padukas of the Lord Chaitanya, they're still preserved. All the devotees got blessings. Padukas we touched on our head. And then we went into the Prasadam hall to honor Rajbhog, Mahaprasadam. Of course, this temple is known for feeding the Vaishnavas liberally. And that day, the devotees all had wonderful prasadam. So they're still taking, and then I took little prasadam and I came back to temple hall. Because anyway, so I came back to temple hall because my prasadam is slightly different. So this person who is sitting in the front playing little kartal, he came and sat next to me. And then he said, Prabhuji, can I ask some questions? I said, okay, no problem. He is trying to speak in English. I am trying to speak in Hindi. And both of them are somehow managing. And when he started asking questions, I understood he has a background of this spiritual knowledge. He knows we are not these bodies, we are spirit souls. He knows that very strongly. And so when he's asking questions, I can understand he has some Mayavada exposure is there. So from Prabhupada's teachings, whatever we have understood, so I started repeating. And whenever I talk about Krishna's Leela or position, how he deals with the devotees, he will also talk in the same way, same language, very nicely he will also say. And then whenever the discussion comes towards the spirit and this, and he also nicely talks about that. Finally, I asked him, what is your problem? Because he was speaking all nice philosophy. Now, what's your problem? He said, Prabhu, I am sitting and doing my chanting and kartal and all that, but I don't have any happiness. I lost all my happiness. I said, what happened? He said, some time back he happened to go to one famous Mayavada mission, which is spread all nook and corner of India, and spreading only poison throughout the day, 24/7. So he happened to meet those missionary Swamijis, and then he got attracted to that their theory. And what is their theory? Ekatmatam. One day you can merge into the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Existence, Ananta, Niramay, Nirviram, Nirakar, Nir. This is their philosophy. 90. They like this, so many. And then they'll be chanting some mantras also. Soham. They'll be chanting some mantras. They look like very Vedic. They look like they're quoting shlokas. They look like they're chanting mantras. Jai Radha Govinda. But they don't believe in the personal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't believe. Actually, I was standing here and I'm watching the devotees who are coming for darshan. They're so happy. They're in bliss by looking at the beautiful forms of Radha Govinda. But when a Mayavadi stands, his thinking is, when I can stand there next to Radharani, when I can stand. This is his thinking. Most of the people, innocent, particularly in India, moment anybody quotes Sanskrit shloka, mantras, and they're also wearing some dress, and this and that, they automatically get attracted and they go to them. So this man also went like that. He's actually a Dhamvasi. That is the greatest Dham of Lord Chaitanya. And he's a Dhamvasi. And he spent some time with them closely in the ashram. He understood all those merging, oneness, nir, nar, neti, vati, all bhranti, everything is illusion. And then he came, and now he understood that there is something wrong. I lost all my happiness. So he has come back and is trying to revive his happiness that he used to get in the early days of his life before he came in touch with this Mayavada mission. He was very happy. So then while discussing, suddenly I told him that the spirit soul has a form. The spirit soul in the heart has indriyas by which the spirit soul experiences. And he was a little shocked. Because their idea of the spirit soul is that it is just some jyoti. There is some kind of a jyoti here. And that jyoti merges into that ananta jyoti, Brahma jyoti. What is there in jyoti merging into jyoti? Right? So they're very logical actually. Yes, little jyoti merging into Ananta Jyoti. And once you merge, you are also Ananta. See how logical? So people become shaken up by this logic and reason. They say, yes, yes, yes. So he went through that some 5-6 years, all these things, practices he did, and finally understood that there is no Ananda. So he wanted to. So when I told him that soul has indriyas and it is an experiencer within this body, it is only experiences. Body cannot enjoy because body is matter. This table cannot enjoy. Similarly, body cannot enjoy. Body is matter. Then who is enjoying? The enjoyer is inside, the spirit soul. The experiencer is inside. That is the spirit soul. But if the spirit soul has to experience, it also has to have angas, indriyas. That's what Shastra says. The spirit soul is amsha of the Supreme Lord. It is an amsha of the Supreme Lord, and he has all the bodily parts. The spirit soul has all the bodily parts. It has mind, it has intelligence, it has ego, it has all the indriyas, and it can enjoy. Capacity to enjoy is there. So in the spiritual world, the spirit soul enjoys is transcendental service to the Supreme Lord. It offers service. The spirit person, the personality, he engages in the service of his master. Matpada seva, abhirata. Just by looking at the lotus feet of the Lord, the devotee becomes ecstatic. And then he always engages in the service of the Supreme Lord. Matpada seva abhirata madiha. Always tries to reach, attain Krishna. Engage in his service. He is always thinking of the Supreme Lord. What comforts to the Supreme Lord, what pleases him, and that's what the devotee is excited about. He is always thinking about how to give pleasure to Krishna. In an interesting way, he wants to offer his services. He wants to increase his sevas. That's what gopis always think. Gopis, they're always thinking how to give pleasure to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he concludes that there is no better worship than the way the gopis worship the Supreme Lord, because they're always thinking various methods and means to serve, increase service, increase the pleasure to the Supreme Lord. So this is a big jump for a Mayavadi. Somebody who is thinking that I am going to be God, or I am God. Actually, once there was a question answer session in some TV show, and then one villager, some name he told, I forgot. From the village he called and he asked one interesting question. He said, Swamiji, everybody tells in the TV shows that I am Narayana. But I have one doubt. If I am Narayana, then every day I am having innumerable problems and miseries and suffering. So if I am Narayana, why am I suffering? I asked him. I said, oh, you are very, very intelligent you are. Since you are suffering, so it is very clear that you are Narayana. You are not Narayana. So I explained to him how this Narayana, becoming Narayana, is a dangerous Mayavada. The very fact that you are suffering means that you are not equal to Narayana. Narayana has no suffering. He is Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna, Narayana, he is always in Sachidananda. His whole body is full of Sachidananda. So, just by looking at him, devotees derive greatest pleasure. Now imagine how Krishna's existence will be. He himself is an ocean of pleasure. So, the most of the people, they're only exposed to this ekatmatam. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, we know, he engages in a conversation with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, one of the leading Mayavadis of that age. In the entire country, he is a leading Mayavadi. He is such a powerful person, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So then Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, they had a discussion. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, you are a very young sannyasi. If you want to remain as a sannyasi, then you should learn Vedanta from me. I'll make you strong. So then Mahaprabhu said, okay, I'll listen to you. Next few days, regularly, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya started speaking on Vedanta. That Vedanta Bhashya that he has learned from whatever source. So he started speaking all that. All through this session, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is listening to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, but he doesn't even utter one word, doesn't even ask anything. He's silently listening. At the end, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gets a doubt. Are you understanding anything? You don't even have even one question also. Looks like you have not understood anything. Because Vedanta, according to these Mayavadis, they are very great Vedantists, and when they speak, actually nobody can understand. And which is actually a fact. Nobody understands anything. Particularly, they won't understand what to do next. Some big terminology they will say. But in the end, okay, now what should I do next? Nobody understands. But the terminology will be very good. And if you carefully watch their talking terminology and all that, never ever they will utter one word called Krishna or Narayana. In their terminology, they will never accept Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. They won't utter the name also. Obviously, how they can utter the name, holy name of Krishna? They're so sinful, they're so demoniac in their attitude that they cannot understand. So, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I understand Vedanta very nicely, but I have not understood the way you are explaining to me. And he says, Vedanta is actually very simple to understand. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya becomes very surprised. He says, Satya, okay, let me hear what is your version. Then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, very logically, with reasoning, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gets shocked. He never ever heard such descriptions. He never thought that Krishna Katha is there in the Vedic literatures. Krishna Katha is there in the Vedanta. He never understood. And then, by the special mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya he becomes a Vaishnava. He surrenders to Lord Chaitanya. And then, after he does so, let us hear about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what he says about merging into Brahman, which he has done for whole life. He is always talking about merging. So let us see what he says. He says, Brahme Ishvare Sayujya Duita Prakar, Brahma Sayujya Haite, Ishvara Sayujya Dhikkar. So he is explaining there are two kinds of Sayujya Mukti. uh, what are they? Merging into Brahman effulgence and merging into the personal body of the Lord. These two are called Sayujya. Both are Sayujya Mukti. There are two kinds. One is into effulgence and one is into body. Now, merging into the Lord's body is even more abominable than merging into his effulgence. This is the conclusion of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Merging into the personal body is even more abominable. Why? They already understood that there is a body, Krishna is there and Krishna has a body. They accept a transcendental body, eternity of the Lord, they know. But still in the end they'll think, one day I'll merge into the body of Vishnu or Narayana or Krishna. According to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, this is even more abominable than somebody who denies that there is Krishna's body is transcendental, somebody who denies that Krishna is not ordinary personality, but they want to merge into the Brahman, so they are one category. But then more abominable is somebody who wants to merge into the Vishnu. Even in some of the so-called Vaishnava sects also I have heard this. Once some people came from some place to do some rituals here. And then while discussing, he was telling, ultimately we all have to go back to Vaikuntha. I said, oh, very nice. Yes. And then he added one more word. After going there, we have to just merge into Vishnu. I said, he is more abominable than the ordinary Mayavadis who think that, okay, we have to merge into some effulgence. That's why Prabhupada is quoting the so-called neophyte devotees. Sometimes they think that here what I am seeing, Radha Govinda, are only some means to go, but actually lordships are not here. Some people think they're only some kind of a representation, that's all. No, actually. Of course, Mayavadis think even more dangerously. So, there are so many misconceptions like that. So, that's why here Kapila Muni, he is saying that devotees, what they do, they're always designing ways and means to serve the Supreme Lord. They're designing. They're always designing more and more ways and means to serve the Supreme Lord, even in the midst of greatest obstacles of material existence. This is so we are all going to have a wonderful opportunity to design ways and means to serve the Lord. Very soon we are going to announce the book marathon for 2025. Now each devotee can think of ways and means of doing service to Krishna. What is that service? If you can give one book, Prabhupada's book, to a conditioned soul, that is the greatest service to Guru and Krishna. So this is, devotees can take one bag of books and then design ways and means by which you can reach these books to as many people as possible and give them this book. As soon as they read the book, they'll get shocked out of their Mayavada. They get a thunderbolt of their life. They understand that, wow, there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead is there. God is there in all his opulences, energies, and Shakti is there. So, if somebody realizes that there is a form, that will be a turning point in his life, a big turning point in his life. So that's why our goal should be to design ways and means to reach these books far and wide and to all categories of people. And then that person who receives will become most fortunate, and it's only a period of some time that he will also become a great devotee. We'll stop here. Questions? Yeah.
హరే కృష్ణ. మీరు చెప్పారు వాళ్ళ మాయావాది వచ్చేసరికి స్మాల్ స్మాల్ జ్యోతి బిగ్ జ్యోతిలో కలవడం. మనం కూడా వీఆర్ పార్ట్ అండ్ పార్సల్ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ అని చెప్తాం. అండ్ అట్ ది సేమ్ టైం ఓషన్లో ఒక డ్రాప్ మనం అని చెప్తాం. అది కొంచెం సిమిలర్గా ఉంది అంటాం. అంటే డ్రాప్ ఓషన్, స్మాల్ జ్యోతి బిగ్ జ్యోతి. అండ్ నార్మల్గా మనం ఏం చెప్తామంటే కృష్ణ ఈజ్ లైక్ స్టమక్ అండ్ వీఆర్ లైక్ హ్యాండ్స్. సో హ్యాండ్ దాని అంతటా అది సాటిస్ఫై అవ్వలేదు. వెన్ యూ ఫీడ్ ఇన్ టు మౌత్ ఇట్ విల్ గో టు స్టమక్ అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ హోల్ బాడీ సాటిస్ఫై అని చెప్తాం. అండ్ నౌ వీఆర్ సేయింగ్ సర్వింగ్ కృష్ణ అవుట్ సైడ్ నుంచి సర్వ్ చేస్తామన్నాం. హ్యాండ్ అనేది విత్ పార్ట్తో ఉంటే మాత్రమే సర్వ్ చేస్తుంది, కానీ బయట ఉంటే ఎలా సర్వ్ చేస్తుంది?
So, the Jiva is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And how the Jiva can enjoy, the example given is the way in the body, the hands, legs, eyes, so many parts are there. They're all called parts. Whole body is there. And this is one part. This is one part. This is one part. Like that, so many parts are there. So now how all these parts and parcels of this body enjoy? Enjoy means what? They have to get the nourishment. They have to get the satisfaction. So how it is designed? It is designed in such a way, the eyes will see the prasadam. And then the hands will pick up. Say there is a rasagulla. The hand will pick up. Now hand cannot enjoy on its own. It tries to say, no, I will not give it to the stomach. I will somehow take it inside. No, it will not. It cannot. It has to put it inside. It has to go to the stomach. And from the stomach, then the energy, nourishment, enjoyment, everything comes up. This is how we are wired. This is by design. This is by design. The parts and parcels enjoy like this, by design. Similarly, by design, we are all persons. Krishna is a person. So this example you cannot extend, because this example is a bodily example, just to give an idea. So similarly, we are also parts and parcel of the Supreme Person. And how we can enjoy? Only by making Krishna satisfied. Give everything to Krishna first. And Krishna, when he gives prasadam back, that will be our enjoyment. We are wired like this. Constitutionally, we are designed like this. We are actually parts and parcels, means we are servants. We are servants of Krishna. A servant always serves. Right? Part and parcel always serves. Let us say there is some itching is there. Now I call this finger, come, do this. So it has to come and do this. This is how the part and parcel should serve the body. Then it gets the nourishment. Now let us say when I call, it is not able to come. It is, it's some problem is there. Then I will think it is diseased. This part is diseased. Then immediately I have to rush to one surgeon to repair this. I am calling, but it is not coming. Similarly, Krishna is calling, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mameka. And you are not going. You are diseased. So Krishna sends one Vaidya. He sends a physician. And he comes and gives us medicine. What is the medicine? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Because you are all chanting, when Prabhupada or Vaishnavas call, come and serve, immediately you are rushing and you are serving. Previously you are not doing that. You are chanting, so think about in these lines, how constitutionally we are connected to Krishna. Enjoying with Krishna means as thinking of him as a supreme personality of Godhead and trying to see how he is pleased. He is pleased by this service, that service. Krishna is watching you. Let us say Krishna stands here and you are there. Now you are supposed to serve him. So now you have to think now, what will please him? Let us say you take a big plate of food and try to give to Krishna. Krishna will not accept. Why? First you have to put. There should be some tulsi. So then now, mind is working. Okay, how he will be satisfied? Okay, Krishna sees. Then there has to be tulsi. And then he accepts only pure devotion, not your items. Rasgulla, halwa, this and that. Now where is? I don't have pure devotion. So what should I do? Hand over the plate to Prabhupada. He will offer it to Krishna and then he will give you the prasad. That we can enjoy nicely. So this is the personalism. As persons we are part and parcel. This is what you have to understand. Part and parcel like a nut and bolt we can understand. But a part and parcel person, that is not easy to understand. One easy understanding is servant or son, child, part and parcel. So as children, we are supposed to give pleasure to the father. So this is one more understanding. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The cover page of Bhagavad Gita, it shows massive form of Krishna, massive aura emanating from him. On one hand, souls are merging, from other hand, souls are emerging. So what does that convey?
This Bhagavad Gita you are saying?
Yeah.
Okay. In this Bhagavad Gita, on one hand, Krishna is holding the reins of the horses. The chariot is driven by 5 horses. On one hand, he is holding all the reins.
No, the other one.
Which one?
Maybe inside page, Krishna is standing like this and emanating from another hand.
Acha, Vishwarupa.
Vishwarupa, correct.
Okay. Yeah. Krishna's Vishwarupa is described in the 11th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna sees that particularly the Kauravas are entering into the all-devouring mouth of Krishna and they are dying like how the small insects, sometimes they get attracted to the fire and how they die. They see in the Vishwarupa that all the Kauravas are entering into the mouth of Krishna and they are dying. Actually, in the Vishwarupa form, you will see all living entities are there as parts and parcels. Every jiva has a place in the Vishwarupa. If somebody wants to see like that, every jiva has a little place in the Vishwarupa. Generally, the Lord's head, those living entities are situated, they are called Brahmanas. And all these shoulders and chest and all that's Kshatriyas. And situated stomach, that is Vaishyas. And both the lotus feet and the legs of the Shudras are situated. Many times some people complain that, you people discriminate against Shudras, but actually it's not true. In fact, first of all, we respectfully see only the lotus feet. So in the Vishwarupa of the Supreme Lord, entire Vishwa is there. But Prabhupada explains that this Vishwarupa is a temporary form. It is not a eternal form of the Supreme Lord. This form is only for this Vishwa. Since it is temporary form, it is also called material form of the Supreme Lord. Sometimes Supreme Lord exhibits certain forms, for the sake of attracting the conditioned souls, and one such form is this universal form. But his eternal form is what we are having darshan. Radha Govindji, Krishna in his eternal form in Vrindavan, he looks like that. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dhalayataksham. These are the descriptions. He is wearing a lotus, he is wearing a peacock feather, and then playing on the flute. Those descriptions are there. So actually Krishna looks like that, very simple, like a blooming youth. But when he has to show power, the way he has shown to Arjuna, sometimes he displays his universal form. Okay, so these are the innumerable forms are there for Krishna. Universal form is one, Archa form is one, Shabda Rupa is one. Whether he has got Advaitam, Achyutam, Anantam, Ananta Rupam, Adhyam Purana Purusham, Navayavvanam Cha. So this is the greatest opulence of the Supreme Lord, is potency, that he exhibits innumerable forms. Stop here. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.